You know what? I have been trying to make some sort of a little editing here and there to improve my videos, but honestly, I cannot really edit it much because it's just a bunch of rants and unless I try to start making scripts about the video, I can't really do something meaningful. So I'm just here to throw in there, telling you that I tried, and this is edited. But that being said, today's topic would be about relationships. Um, I've been wanting to make a video to share my own experiences, what I've learned so far, in a way that I hope people who feel similar or experience similar things that I have went through to learn, basically speed up the learning process, because I'm really a strong believer that everyone kind of have to go through the experiences to get to the conclusion themselves instead of people telling them what to do and follow it. uh, I myself are kind of stubborn. I It's not just about stubborn, it's more about that even though I have a sense that you might be telling me the truth and it could, be the right decision to do certain things, but if my heart is telling me like no, I still want to figure out this possibility. If I listen to you, I would risk the regrets of not listening to myself, and that would be much harder to overcome in the long term. So almost every time I would ask for all kinds of advice, I would hear all kinds of advice or suggestions, but at the end of the day I would still just make my own decisions. So I don't know about how people will meet with someone when they're really young and then they get into such like long-term relationships, happily ever after. I know that it's not a norm, but it exists. But today's is more like from the angle that most of the other common people experiencing, which is not able to find someone that they think they could be long term, or just experiencing um romance or that kind of feeling. um because I feel like I grew up not like, okay, so first of all, I grew up in school and I don't really have any crushes. Maybe one or two people, but it's very like briefly, very short. So honestly, through primary school, secondary school, and even in university, I never feel like I'm having a crush on someone. And so I never really be in any kinds of like romantic relationships. I don't even flirt with people. Like I feel like I'm an alien. I feel like I'm not focusing on feeling much on that side. It's the same thing. I also don't really watch any romance kind of stuff. Like I don't really like it was very popular back then. All the girls, or even boys, read those novels that are for teenagers. I'm pretty sure they involve a lot of like puppy loves and that kinds of things. And I don't know why I actually feel um, kind of disgust about it. I know how fake it is and I know how unrealistic it is, but all it actually comes from the environment that I'm living in. I think my family are not super loving in terms of how they verbally treat each other, I would say. There are different kinds of love languages, and I'm Asian, very typical Asian family. You wouldn't have a lot of like uh, words of affirmation or physical touch, but I would say most of the love was um, expressed through acts of service or like gifts, like financially. Um, there's no right or wrong about it. It's just about how you were being raised, and I definitely felt understood that this, like, I don't know, my parents' love language, but I also feel like I didn't know, like desperately needed some sort of words of affirmation. I think my whole teenage was like really like to be on the internet. One of the reasons is that I feel like on the internet I met a lot of people around the world, or even if it's not around the world, it's like somebody outside of my circle, somebody outside of my environment, and I feel like they have something that I don't have on a, like around me, which is just very basic kind of friendliness. How should I explain it? I feel like um, when people speak, if they cannot get away from jealousy, or just imagine like you are saying something, but no matter how happy you are, they will always try to find a way to put you down or make you feel not as happy. They're not multiplying your happiness. They're just trying to make you feel like, oh shit, am I not supposed to be happy about it? And I realize it. I have been getting these from my parents. I mean, now that I'm saying it, I verbalize it, but I didn't realize or think about it because I've been living alone overseas by myself for 8 and 9 years, and I think I am navigating my own life, my own thoughts and feelings, and how do I socialize in my own way for the many years. And I have identified some of the problems that I actually learned and trying to unlearn. It sounds very foreign to me, but right now, if I sense it, I can very quickly realize, okay, this is problematic. This is not supposed to be like that. I need to make them aware of that, or I need to protect myself. So basically, this is one of the red flags. I don't know if anyone were in it would be able to identify it, because even like seriously, even if it's some older friendships that I have, if I interact with them again, there's a chance that they will have something like that too. And right now I'm much more sensitive about these things, and I instantly will know that I don't really want to have these in my life, because they give no value at all. No value at all. It just makes me feel shitty. People would like to probably challenge me, or they would question like, well, so you want to surround by a bunch of how do you call that? Yes sayers. Is it called yes sayers? It sounds weird. It sounds like a cult, but no, it's not about people surrounding you with yes sayers. It's about you need to understand what you're lacking, and then you need to try to nurture yourself with something that you've been missing, and then protect yourself from those harms again. It can be triggering, because I would went from, okay, having this really tough shell of anger. Let's say I protect myself with anger growing up. If I feel hurt, if I feel like I'm being attacked, it's anything that I feel weird, but I'm a kid. I don't know what's right or wrong. I only learn through the adults around me. And if they do certain things like that, I feel a certain way, and I'll be angry. I wouldn't be crying or sad that much, or maybe I forgot about it, but mostly full of anger towards that, because it gives you power. It gives you a sense of control that I'm choosing to be angry. I'm choosing to be tough. That if I express myself, if you say something like this to me, if you do something like this to me, I'm not gonna just take it. But then would be making fun of or commenting it as like, oh wow, you can't even take a joke. It's a joke. Chill out, it's a joke. No, it's not a joke. I mean, those people have some problems with themselves, and I don't know, they just cannot help and try to say mean things and disguise it as a joke. Like, come on. Like, you can be really funny without putting anyone else down. Anyways, what I'm trying to share is that we need to identify our living environment, how we were being raised, and start to really pay attention to what they're saying and why are they saying that. Mostly it's just because of their own projection. It's also like how they were raised as well. It's very difficult to detach from, because it's your family, because it's your friends, because like, you know, very people close to you. But it's such a good things to learn to detach and to see from an angle, like, okay, let's say if you really like someone, are you gonna do this to them? In the past, I feel like past relationships, I would have certain things leak out or doing similar things, but actually I don't realize it. Like, it's only when you acknowledge that, okay, you were raised in a certain way and this is not right, and they have influenced you. It's actually part of you in some way, because, you know, nature versus nurture is a big part. So you have to acknowledge that. And that is when you can unlearn certain things. Because if you denied it, if you just faced it with hatred, you would probably become more and more like them. Because I remember, like, it's very typical, you know, oh my god, I realized how horrible it is. I would never ever be like this myself. Never. And later you realize that you've been doing the same thing here and there. But it's the moment that you choose to reflect. You reflect and say, like, okay, wait, I've done the same thing and I don't want to be like this anymore. So let's take some steps to change it. Or you try to just make excuses, justify yourself. So I think I yapped in a very unstructured way, so there's not much to take away here. But I will make it again and again, like the different videos about my learning journey of how I went from being with all kinds of wrong people. I mean, I'm not saying like they are the problem. I was part of the problem, but it was how do you call that? Wait, I can't speak. Incompatible. What? Anyways, now that have a partner that I would say is the best I've ever had, and really liked his character, values, personality, and everything, is someone that I would say I can, look up to in terms of being like a person. And then the fact that this very weird, okay, the weird thing is, if you look back, you think like, why am I being with this certain person? Do I really like them? You actually don't really like them. Even when you're with them, you don't actually like them. Like, you really think like, what do you actually like about the person? Once there was a friend asked me this question. I was like all sad and crying and so deep into all this shit about why is it being like this, why can't I be with her? And then she asked me this question: what do you actually love about this person? And my brain at that time was very defensive, so I'd be like, yeah, of course there's something I liked about them, and I tried to count them. But later on, I realized that it's actually not true. There are more things that you actually don't like about them. But are you in the mind that you feel like you want to change them? You want to influence them? And then they go back to, oh, they share similarities of your fucking parents' problems. So you try to recreate it and you wish that it would be different. No, it's not gonna be different. It's gonna be only stopping when you realize that they are, how you find them. Like they are just like this, and they're probably gonna just stay like this. No matter your input, no matter what it is, because they have their own journey timeline to do whatever that they want. So that pretty much sums up what happened the many other relationships that I had in the past. And when the time that I realized it, then there are another steps I need to take to do some healthy dating, which is you might not feel about certain ways about someone that strongly yet, but if they are on paper, first of all, of course you need to be attracted to them. This is also another whole journey that I went through. I went to a time that think to myself like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be so superficial. Attractiveness is just one of the thing about a person. I need to be with a person that that are good and kind, and I will be happy. And so that I would be with people that it's not that they're ugly or anything. It's attractiveness has nothing to do with like the conventional physical beauty or whatever. Of course there are like connection with that, but I'm saying like, are you attracted to that person? It could be someone that's very good looking, but you're not naturally attracted to them. And so I went through all those things and just realized that like, why was it even a question before? I also asked a friend about this, and she also commented in a very straightforward way. She's like, well, if you are not really attracted to them, let's say sexually or anything, but by the way, there are many people when it comes to like sexuality, some people are asexual and whatever, so I'm only talking about my own experience, which is if you normally have certain sexual attraction, but you're not really having with this person, but everything else seems like matching and really good and well, and then you start to struggle, and then should I try to be with this person? The answer is, well, then you just be with a friend, isn't it? You can just be friends. You don't have to be with that person. Are you afraid to be alone? Are you afraid that you cannot find somebody else who are like on paper matching all this shit? So you need to really ask just for lots of questions. And with that help from a friend that tried to think about it, at the end, then I decided to break it off. Like, okay, it's not fair to that person. Like, you need to think a way that is not about yourself. It's like, it's not fair for that person because they could very well find someone that crazy about them, super attracted to them, 100%. So don't be selfish. I think I'm yapping all over the place. I am ending it today, and if anyone watching this interested in hearing more this kind of random topics about relationships, I probably would try to make another one, or questions. Otherwise, I think I would just go on random topics that I can think of on a daily basis. Also, I'm gonna have birthday this week, and I thought I'm not gonna celebrate it because I was like feeling exhausted and all that, but I realized the moment that I don't have any responsibilities, no work, and nothing anymore, I feel like doing it again. So I will need to prepare for this week, and on Sunday I'm gonna just be like picnic, doing something nice and under the sun. So I hope you have a really good week. Today's Monday. If you're still working a shit job, then I give you some power. If you are in a weird transition like me, I suggest you to make yourself some little projects that could be fun. Yeah, see you next time. Thumbnails. No, I don't want to do this kind of weird gesture. Let me think of a good thumbnails. Like this.